Okay, so starting the SIP protocol. The SIP protocol is an application layer protocol that lies in the application layer. We have discussed already the OSI model with all the layers, so we know that. And the second thing, it's used for the signaling in order to establish, modify, and terminate a real-time communication. That communication sessions can be used for voice calls, video, or messaging. Okay, so what is the most important reference for you in the SIP? Let me tell you, the RFC 3261. Go ahead now, and I encourage you to download it in your laptop. It's present, its link is present. It's an open source document, so you can download it anytime. Just download it and keep it. You can look inside it also. Okay, so according to this reference, the RFC 3261, a SIP message is either a request from a client to a server or a response from a server to a client. As we can see here, the client is sending a request to SIP server or is receiving a response. So this is a SIP will never ever get outside of the being a request or a response. Okay, and what's the main we can say differentiator between both? You will see inside the request what's called by the request line, and inside the response what's called by the status line. The request line contains the method. The method identifies the type of this request, and inside the request URI contains the host. Okay, and inside the response there is a response that show what is the response for this request. So going ahead to the wireshark, you can see here on the right hand side, this is a SIP register request. This is a type of it. So how this is identified that its type is register request, you see in this inside the request line there is a method, there is a request URI. This is the identification. And if we went to this 200, okay, we will see this is status line, which is so the SIP which mentioned here inside it the SIP response code, that's 200. Also you can see here the request URI present in the request line after the method. Okay, so returning back, so the SIP protocol has different type of methods or of requests. Okay, and this, as we mentioned, is identified by the method. So each method is used maybe in a certain call flow. Yeah, we can say it like this. So we have the registration where the client needs to register on a server. We have a call session between two clients. We have a message. We have a server query. So in the registration, the method that's used is the register method, and in the call an invite method is used, and inside the message and server query, someone can ask me what is a server query, which have an options method. So the server query is used in order for the server to know that if it's communicating to another server or communicating to a certain client, so it needs to know that this communication is up, is not down. So how this could be done? There is an options that's being sent and received. It's not used for a call, it's not used for registration, it's used just to know that the far end is alive. So the communication is up. So if I send to you anything, so we that's used actually in order to avoid like an incident or problem happens. So if the options are down, we will know instantly before waiting for a call to happen and the call fail. No, we know it as long as this option, and it's used as the result, it's used for alarming to know that this communication is up. Okay, there are other methods that belongs to the same call flow, but they are not the main ones. So like subscribe, notified belongs to the registration, and inside the call there's update, prac, refer, buy, cancel. Okay, so these are the SIP request methods. In the SIP response codes, they are divided, maybe I can divide them to the success, redirection, error. The SIP response is very simple. They are divided based on the numbers. So we have 1xx, 2xx, okay, that's are present in success, and then here other number, and then here numbers. So they are divided by numbers. In the success we have here, the 1xx is a provisional response where the request is just received, and I say that I've received the request, I'm processing it. Okay, this is a provisional response, which does not show that the call is ended successfully, but it shows that the your request is being processed. Yeah, but the call is not finished yet. But when you have a 200 success request, then this means that the request was successfully understood and accepted. Yeah. In the redirection, we have the 3xx, where we say redirection. What does that mean? So the client is sending to the server this SIP invite request and then receiving this 3xx redirection. So this telling the client that there's further action need to be taken, like routing, like this request you should reroute to a different server as an example. So this is the redirection. And then we have error responses starting from 400s till 600s. All the remaining errors are showing an error. Okay, all the remaining response codes are showing an error. Like the 4xx is a client error where the request contains maybe bad syntax, or it's a bad cannot be fulfilled because of a client error. This is a 4xx. And then 5xx is server error, where the server is not able to fulfill this request. And then we have a global error showing that this request cannot be fulfilled at any server. So these are the SIP response codes, we can say, that describe the SIP responses according to RFC 3261.